Alright, let's get this show on. Switching over. Hello. Welcome, Saturdays, to the Daring Player Squad channel. My name's Rashi.
I'm Joyce.
Special guest.
May.
Yeah, it means on the holiday. We're playing Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations, Bad Boy Stubbs. I know you didn't add that in the title this time around, but I think it's kind of assumed that's pretty much what we do here on Saturdays.
It's been long enough. I think it was established a pattern.
Yeah, so what we do for Bad Boy Stubbs is that we play video games and we put Bad Boy Stubbs against them. Usually video games like RPGs that don't have actual like voice acting. So right now we're going to be playing, right now we've gone through things like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, and no, you're not late. Hello, friend.
You are just in time.
You are just in time. We always like pause for about 5 minutes so people can get into the chat. We also gives us some time for all of our kind of what are those automated systems to kind of like catch up with everything. So it sends out an automatic message out to Twitter and an automatic message out to Instagram. I think, I don't know, but yeah. So we are ready to go. Where did we last leave off, Joyce? I believe we left off last at day 2, investigations, and so what that was all about. So just to, I think she'll do. Okay, so the best thing about Ace Attorney is that usually after the trial, it understands that sometimes you decide to be done with things, and then you come back, and it will give you a moment to kind of like catch up with everything in like the text and the story of the regular progression of the game. So I think if we go over here, what is this? 12:08, 12:11.
All my favorite streamers are streaming. Oh my god!
Yeah.
All at once.
I know. Vampy started streaming not about 5 minutes ago, and I'm like, no!
Darn this West Coast schedule.
No. You really want to get the game, but I don't have the attention span of an hour. This game is really good. You don't really need to wait play all at once like we do. It is very easy to simply just save, leave it, come back later, because this used to be a DS game, right? And as a DS game, it's the whole thing is about watching us. Well, we can find it. You can watch us later, and then
that's fine.
If you put chats in later, or you join the Discord or something, you just hey, I love that part. This happened. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that part, and we'll remember it. We'll remember most things in a week. I just realized I think our chat is disappearing on us again. Is it?
Yes, because when I play Kingdom Hearts, I turn...
Right. All right, do a quick... This is why we also do leave a couple minutes ahead of time to kind of figure things out. So embed in stream, hide check messages, and then...
I think you just need to refresh
and then refresh the chat, yeah. So it's restream chat.
I think the link is still the same.
So I go here and it says... I think it says...
properties. Just go into the properties.
Oh, yeah, and then it says...
And then refresh cache.
Yeah. Cool, and that should be it.
I hope so. Well,
anyway, we'll figure it out later. Bomb. Yeah, well, we're here for funsies. We'll see you when we see you. We're not here to be like, you need to watch us every time we stream 100% all the time. That's not what we're here for.
We barely pay attention to ourselves. Come on.
Yeah, it's a chore for everyone to get on Discord half the time. I don't even have a Discord running naturally on this computer. I have it on my work computer. That's well, that's
more you're more likely to actually use it at work than you are.
That's also true. I poop sometimes. 579. Hello, you're new.
I love that name.
What happened to I poop sometimes 1 to 578? Let me know.
I'm glad at least concerned that we're also entertaining as fuck. So.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
Also, if you don't know, I've actually themed all of my notifications to be Phoenix Wright because we're playing 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to be trying to do Apollo Justice. But Apollo Justice series hasn't been put onto Steam, so we might have to do some canoodling to get it to work. Yeah, rejigging. Also, if you're new to the squad, you killed them. Literally, that's everyone's answers. What happened to them?
Well, what else are you supposed to say? Either you killed them or you ate them, okay?
Yeah, okay. That's the 2 major answers. But anyway, if you're interested in getting those little figures on the bottom, they can do stuff. I haven't updated them in a while, but they're all different types of characters and stuff and sprites that I've pulled from different Phoenix Wright games. So they're fun to have. They put you there. You can find them in the stream avatar, what's it called? Widget that's in the stream. So anyway, without further ado, let us get into it. So October 14th, this is just after, right? There you go.
I think so. Hey, Nick!
What is it this time?
You won't believe how many people are here for the trial.
Wait, are we here for?
This is for
Oh,
Ron's
right.
murder trial
Right, because
case.
we did, yeah, because we wanted to go back to the trial. Right.
Yeah, you wanted to stop at the trial.
Yeah.
Like,
So we did the investigation. Now we're here.
yeah, so I hope you remember what happened in the investigation.
Yeah. Well, so what ended up happening? I'm doing it right now. Mask the Mask is an infamous thief that we
He
have.
is a phantom thief.
A phantom thief. He's a thief that we are representing. His real name is Ron Delight, and our first case we won because he was charged with theft. However, it placed him in a building where a murder took place. So now he's being charged with murder, which just like blows, like from out of the frying pan into the fire is basically it. So now we're here to defend our
Poor
client,
Saul, yeah.
who is
Against
who is just like a headache. Like you'll see if you haven't been keeping up. You can also go back to all of our YouTube stuff because we have a YouTube channel where we archive a lot of our stuff. So feel free to go back and check that out.
Some of them might be a little bit misnamed, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like it's just for archival purposes. We'll organize them and maybe cut them up. I know Ash has been looking into
All of
them.
never, but
Ash is looking to kind of like sharpen her editing chops and start making
that'd be compilations.
montage compilations. But we'll see. Oh wait, well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door.
Next door.
Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmey's trial today.
So Detective Atmey was the detective that the what's it called? The museum hired to protect themselves from Mask the Mask, which ended up being revealed that he is actually the secret mastermind behind all the thefts, and that he simply just uses himself, basically presents himself as the detective.
So you explain the game as you go? I mean, sometimes we do, just because between an entire week, we forget things, people forget things, mostly we forget things.
I mean, if you get confused, you want us to reiterate
Also, people
stuff?
come in like halfway through, and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
So yeah.
We'll try our best to keep up with everybody.
If you need it, if you need a refresher, ask, and we will happily do so. Also, Arash likes to hear himself talk.
Well, I wouldn't be doing this if I couldn't. Maybe I should just do it just be like silent all the time, like that's not fun to watch.
Read your line.
Yeah, I know. Detective Atmey.
They say they're going to try him as Mask the Mask.
Already? That was fast.
I'd love to see Mask the Mask's trial. Who is this?
By the way, where's Pearls?
Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. I know you don't like me.
Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh?
Yeah, ever since that incident last year. Please! Don't ignore me!
Yeah, this is Ron Delight. Wait till you see his wife.
Oh, Mr. Delight. Good morning. No one likes me.
Yeah, no one likes you, Ron.
No one would notice me, even if I killed someone. Oof. Oh, come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec.
You don't mean you're the murderer?
No, I'm just a poor thief.
So a little bit of background on Ron. Ron used to be a chief security officer for a security firm that is implied to be stealing items and selling them on the black market. So they're using their insider knowledge and blackmailing Ron to steal these things so that they can sell them.
Actually, I wasn't the company.
Well, specifically the CEO of the company.
Was not, no.
Well, that's what it looked like so far.
Okay.
So Joyce is like ruining it for everybody by telling you what the story actually is. And I'm just trying to keep things a little bit, shrouded in mystery. But Joyce likes to ruin that parade, so whatever. I love her, I swear. But yeah, so Ron is not a murderer, allegedly. He is the thief. He's simply being blackmailed and then framed for murder. Anyway, he's also like super like shy and just meek, like very unassuming.
No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't be really poor.
Hello, Wayward.
Hello. Right meow.
Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending him to help him commit the heists.
Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murderer, Nick?
It's possible, but today's trial's a race against the clock.
Huh?
Double jeopardy, right?
How come? Let's just take our time like always. We've got 3 days.
I'm afraid that's not an option.
Hmm?
It's double jeopardy. If Detective Atme goes down for the theft, they can't reopen this case, right? Hello.
Your face.
Well, I mean, you can't go down. You can't take him.
Yeah. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delad. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You are ready. Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin your opening statements, Mr. Godot.
Yes, enjoy that.
He's not the judge. He's got the judge in the palm of his hand yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all.
That smooth, sultry Hispanic.
I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Huh. When you need to get out, then you need to get out more often, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be precise in your wording. Oh, yeah, I forgot the sh. Oh,
It is your duty to do the chapter now. Yes.
That's also why we have the desk right here. There's actually a desk right here, so I can go. I can slam it. Anyway, that's all my statement means.
I love it's 10 out of 9
right?
voice acting, not 9 out of 10.
Yeah, thanks. We call it bad voice styles, but honestly, I think we've been too good at it, so we might have to change the name of the whole process. Anyway, yes, well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Also, if you watch the anime, a lot of people were disappointed that was it Undead Dragon, was super disappointed that the judge does not actually have
a southern
accent. Anyway. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change.
Join the court with
The
one
victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated at 1 a.m. of the previous day. And that's when our lost little kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness.
Speaking of kittens.
Oh, they're eating the yummy bits.
Oh.
Also, if you're really into the music, you can actually go listen to the official versions on Spotify, because Capcom has released all of their songs for their games recently. So Devil May Cry, Monster Hunter, and then Ace Attorney.
Russian.
Oh shit, you may go to Russia? Oh, Russia? No. The Russian is like this. You speak like this, you go to Mother Russia. But no, he speaks like this, which is a little bit more Chilean, or is it? I think it's like Ecuador or something.
I don't know,
like,
he's
got a weird
trying to go for some
I'm trying to
Hispanic.
smooth into the Hispanic
Some kind
a little
of
bit.
Hispanic.
Like, I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial.
17 cups, Jesus
But the
Christ.
first one, it's always the best. Oh, Mr. Goto, your witness. Glub glub. Okay then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant. Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Huh. You got guts, Trite. I love the fact he calls him Mr. Trite. Mr. Trite. All right then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. Delight. He's so fucking like, oh god.
He looks like a girl.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's very.
He is the antithesis of what you would think of for a swashbuckling, phantom thief.
Debonair thief, yeah. You did it, didn't you?
Yes.
What?
No, that's not true.
This is a stupid ploy to work. For a moment there, I thought we had set the records. For a moment there, I thought we had set the record for the shortest trial ever.
Well, Mr. Delight already does look plenty guilty with that face he's making.
Once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Ha! Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. Oh boy, I wish I could.
Oh God, stop it. Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. I forgot how much of an idiot Ron is, yeah.
He really is.
He's got a spine made of like warm cheese. It's just blur. Bends.
That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. It's bitter today too, just like my destiny.
You never know. You never know that coming from the way he chugs it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. My visit to KB Security. KB Security. Let's see here. So we'll press everything.
Yeah,
you might
I don't
as well.
think there's any harm in it.
1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that?
Yes. That's what my watch said when I entered the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow, and my internal clock is also...
1 a.m. That's exactly the time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. The blackmail letter he got. It ordered you there?
It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then?
Oh, of course!
Of course.
They'd say things like, steal this, or take that.
Why didn't you save that for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say anything more. Now, what should I do? Why not press harder?
No harm in doing that.
So what did the blackmail letter in question say?
It said to bring $50,000.
Money, huh? A perfect motive for committing murder.
Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Oh, is that right?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed.
Add that to the testimony.
Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Huh. A muddy mudskipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. Blackmail threatened to scare me. I wasn't going to cause me trouble. Wasn't going to cause me trouble anyway. Okay. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask to mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me.
He did.
Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me.
That's his wife, by the way. So that's why Mr. Light didn't believe he was mask to mask.
That's why I knew they were just hollow threats.
Until a year ago. You used to be a security chief for KP Security, right? Yeah, security chief, not a security guard, like head of.
Yes, that's right.
A security chief? You? Yeah, the judge is like, what? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject? Life after being fired, why he was fired. I mean, it's there. I'm not gonna say anything for now. I should just avoid this whole subject, at least for now.
We can come back and press it later if we need.
As the defense appears to have nothing to say, it seems that this is indeed your motive.
What? That's not true. I didn't have any hard feelings towards Mr. Bullard.
I knew I should have said something. Damn it!
There wasn't much to his testimony, was there?
Sounds like he was avoiding something. At least that's what it sounded like to me.
Uh-oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. We'd better be careful.
But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth.
So you are gonna have to press him on.
Yeah, I'll have to get everything out of him. Blackmail didn't scare me. I've been working on it. Okay, so what's more important? What happens after or what, why he was fired? I think why he was fired.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, why is a little bit more important.
Than life after. Because we know what happens life after. He became a thief. Or he would continue to be a thief. Let's ask. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job.
Well...
The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Uh-oh. Okay, then I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question.
I needed money.
You needed money.
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not actually the best hobby in the world, huh, Ned? My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company.
Come again?
KB Security has a lot of security detail info on all sorts of companies, and since I was a security chief team...
You stole some data and sold it.
Mr. Bullard found out, and I was fired immediately.
What? Oh, I wish I never asked that.
I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
He sure told you.
So you admit you stole data from your company, is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry, but I am a thief.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony.
Oh, man.
Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse, crashed and then blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster.
You may as well also press for the other one.
This one?
No, I was gonna, because
Oh, yeah. Why would you say something like that?
Oh, well, for Desi's hobby, what else?
Wasting money, huh?
It's not a waste! So, Ms. Delight didn't know her husband was fired, does she?
So it would seem.
I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other.
I can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya thinking about I can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples. Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright.
There wasn't much to his testimony, was there?
Sounds like he's avoiding something.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we're missing a few details. Maybe we should ask about the other stuff.
The other one.
Yeah. So
Life after being fired.
Fired me, and then this would be life after. Probably add on top. Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah. So it used to be KB Security, and then nope, that's it.
What?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, start finding, just start finding some pictures.
Oh, what the hell?
What? Oh.
Disc. I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore. Okay, so now we realize because we've fleshed everything out. It's he's bringing out the fact that he stole something from the company. He can't say he doesn't have any grudges because he clearly does, right? What do you mean? The victim had no proof the defendant was Mask the Mask, but you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier.
But that was all over with once I was fired. But it is true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps. Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up now, a whole year later.
Is that really true?
What is it, Nick?
The fact that Ron was stealing company data, I wonder if he would have had a problem if it became public knowledge. I'd say he would, because then people would be like, oh, he was a thief now, he could be a thief then, right?
Perhaps?
No, I guess their data is not as secure as they think.
Well, I mean, that would be a KB problem. That's not a Ron
problem, yeah. I'm gonna say not especially and see what happens. Nah, I guess not.
But didn't you just say he might?
Always avoid unpleasant or inconvenient facts. That's one of my rules.
Don't try to get out of this by acting all cool.
Okay, so we got the blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't gonna cause me any trouble. Okay, let's just tab out really quick. Okay, so written with a fountain pen. Don't that red diamond. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. Ron's wallet. There's the first heist, maybe because CEO's office buzzer, Kane's list, Ron's testimony. He was the master of the second heist. Buzzer record. Maybe it is. Maybe it's something. Ordered me to go there. Didn't scare me. Been working for KB Security up until a year ago. Let's keep pushing through everything again. Double check. Used to be a security chief.
I mean, it still could be the whole.
Why would you do something like that? Was because he's just wasting money? I think yeah, there's something there.
Like there could be something that will go bad for Ron.
Well, let's explore that rabbit hole. Why not? Blackmail letter,
why
order me
not?
there. Now that we have all the things opened up, I think maybe we do. The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to a mask.
Mask.
Disc. I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore. The victim had no proof the defendant was mask to mask. Okay, so we have to prove that he knew that he was the one that was mask to mask. So the fact that Ron was stealing company data, I wonder if he would have had a problem if that ever came to light. I'm serious, he would. Mr. Delight, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity was a company data thief was made public.
Yeah.
Mr. Rat, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client? Ha! Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. That's exactly right. Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo. Little lawyer amigo? Yes. Now come on. Provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secret from going public? Magatama. It would be. I think it would be mask to mask, like him being mask to mask.
Well, I'm gonna try and look this up for you as well, but being a data thief has nothing to do with being mask to mask.
What it could do is that it would reveal the data that was leaked, maybe?
Perhaps?
If they had the data that was being leaked was pertinent to something like death, cerebral hemorrhaging, first heist to the murder, connected with garden, with fingerprints. So yeah, so this
I mean, you could.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna say it's gonna be about mask to mask, maybe.
Take that!
Huh. Well, Mr. Defendant? You are the defendant. Just when I thought it wasn't possible, a whole new level of irritation arises before me. Looks like the defense was just playing with themselves.
Nah.
Whoops. Yeah. Do you think you could rephrase that, Your Honor? For my sake? Wording? Well, then let's get back to the testimony, shall we? Fired me for selling company secrets, but doesn't know about that.
Desi doesn't know about that. Wait.
There wasn't much in the testimony. Sounds like he's avoiding something. Be careful, but if we don't find out a way to make this what it means, we'll never get closer to the truth. What's it? Okay, let me just take a double check at the information that we have. Okay, so, okay. Don't want your true identity to be revealed to the world. Come to KB Security. I want to right? Well, why don't I just give him the blackmail letter? Like, that's the whole reason. Like, you'd be revealed as the mask to mask. That would be the problem. And then Desi would know.
Yeah, where's the one that said Desi doesn't know?
Yeah, Desi doesn't know. Do I have to press that, or do I have to present it that?
We're a little out of order from the walkthrough.
The blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't gonna cause me any trouble, right? Actually, that's a lie. Desi should be the one I should press here.
Yeah.
Objection!
So I pressed the wrong profile. It's not that he would be revealed as the as Mask the Mask, that's not the big problem. You gotta go before my parents kill you, stay up too late. Feel free
Alright,
to
no
go to bed.
worries.
We'll see you next time. And
Go
you
to
can
bed.
always watch us on
the archives.
In the archives. So feel free to come back later if you want to catch up. Maybe
Alright,
in the
good-
future we'll start earlier, so you
Good
can watch all
night.
of it.
I poop sometimes.
Only sometimes. Sometimes. All right. So we're gonna fast forward through this because we've already seen it before. Yes, you would. Mr. Light, you do have an issue if your identity as a thief was
Yeah.
made public. Because Desi mentioned before,
Desi, she
she
hates
hates dishonest
criminals.
people. Definitely come back. Cool. Tomorrow's gonna be a team stream. We're gonna be doing Monster Hunter World with all the people in our channel, which is 5 people who play video games. And then we play different games every day of the week and we just do that rotation over and over.
Yeah. So if you're interested in Phoenix Wright specifically, we'll do that on Saturdays, and then throughout the week recycle between everyone else
I
as
thought
well.
James was stuck at work. Oh yeah,
Yes,
James will be
is-
absent, unfortunately.
Yeah, James is stuck at work.
We've just had he works at Party City, so it's like really tough for him to get any time off between October and
Halloween
Christmas
to, yeah,
or New
Halloween
Year's. Yeah.
to New Year's is like straight up blackout dates.
Alright, let's see here.
Yes.
You don't need to give me the cup this time. We've already done this.
Yeah,
Why would he
Desi.
keep? Why would he keep it secret? He would go to Desi. Does the Riri?
Desiree.
Boom!
She's 23. They're in their early 20s and they're married and they're essentially well off. My God. Can you imagine that kind of a life?
Not in Vancouver.
Fuck.
Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday.
Huh? What doesn't?
I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secret. A certain person. Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife.
But listen to me. My Desi, she's...
Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Godot! Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habits, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail. And that's how the murder came about. Oh, no! Everything is falling neatly into place for him.
Oh, shit. Don't talk about my Desi like that. You'll be sorry.
It's such the most hollow threat I've ever seen. He's like, I'll beat you up, I swear. It's just like, okay.
All right.
Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick?
I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Clearly, there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife. He killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. I also have a toaster on my face. Keeps me fresh.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I was a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead. If you weren't wearing that...
I think it means his helmet.
Hmm.
I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided a similar testimony. He said that Master Mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course. Since Abby turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Huh. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that.
What are you saying? I really was attacked!
We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Trite? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any signs that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. He didn't drink from the cup, obviously.
I just wanted to.
This is like a drinking game.
Yeah, when I enter the
Oh my
office,
God, can you imagine? Every time Hoodle drinks, you take a shot.
when I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow
You'd
there.
be
Suddenly it was hit on
so
the
wired
forehead.
on coffee.
After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been gonna ask what he was talking
What is
about.
that?
That? Could you please clarify what you're referring to?
Why, my mask-to-mask costume, of course.
Wait a moment. Mask to mask.
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as mask-to-mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What?
Nick, did you know about this? You never told me this.
I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. And I'm smoking. So hot. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry. I just never had the chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just kind of slip from your mind?
Ha! My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my mask-to-mask costume.
Press it. Press it.
You press it.
Edgy Jake, hello.
Objection.
Oh, that's new. I like that little shark phoenix.
Ah, that's cute.
Where did you? Let me know where you grabbed that. I'm really interested in knowing where. Why are you dressed up as Mask to Mask?
Why? Because I am
Kibo.
mask-to-mask, of course.
Ron and the coworkers find his cosplay Insta. I thought I told everyone that I'm cosplay. Yeah. Kiwo is a streamer. I'm gonna check him out. If he does more stuff like that. Because of Mask to Mask. What are you talking about? Mask to Mask's trial is being held next door.
No. I love that.
Are they just like sharks or like?
No, it's Phoenix, and then part of his arm.
Yeah, no,
and
but
then
like,
his-
but the head is like it's just like a random character. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, so it is. Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at the time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the mask-to-mask issue. So I thought I would go as him just to be safe.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than expected.
Took a lot longer? What's he talking about? To get there, to arrive? What do you mean it took a lot longer?
Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr.
Oh
Bullard's body.
shit. What was that? Back up a second.
Yes?
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Oh, well, yeah.
Inconceivable! That's I think a Princess Bride reference. Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? What? The answer is simple. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying. Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? So you're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yeah. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness! Make sure you add this to the testimony. Shoot him in the butt. Butt touch. Uh-oh. Looks like a storm front is moving over the Fairweather Judge.
I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. We heard this from Mr. Delight yesterday, didn't we?
There's not much in this testimony either.
I bet you he's still hiding something.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him.
I just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated. I'm just suspicious that it took 10 minutes and he didn't get caught.
Yeah, Boom, boom, boom. There's dead. I'm just gonna double check here, yeah. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway?
Well, because it wouldn't fit in the drawer.
Oh, fucking seriously. That's not exactly what I meant.
When I saw that corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it.
I think you had a simpler reason for that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body. That certainly makes more sense. Hold on. 10 minutes?
What is it, Nick?
I just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? And
Oh,
spend
you're
10
such
whole
an
minutes
idiot.
to do it?
Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh! Hey, Nick. If you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show what those circumstances were?
That's it. I'll take a look in the court records and present some evidence.
Present some evidence!
The evidence. So the evidence is the alarm. Because
It would have led straight to the security office and alerted someone.
or no,
And then-
there's an alarm that goes off when you punch
yes,
it, right?
yes, but you're on the wrong statement.
Oh, he was lying dead.
There.
Panicked and hit the body.
Yes.
Tab. So it says here that the warehouse camera went off,
The buzzer
and then the buzzer said that
connects directly connected to the basement.
yeah.
Actually, isn't there also a
Yeah, the buzzer
went
record.
off.
There you go.
Yes,
Yeah. So
this
at
one.
102 the buzzer went off, yet no one came up to see
for
it.
10 whole minutes?
Yeah. Objection! Ron is an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a damn fool, but a fine thief. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? What might this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects to the CEO's office to security. The button in the office is, if the button in the office is pressed, the security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. What? If Mr. Ron DeLight truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way. Objection. Huh. Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the
He
building.
was chief of the security.
Yeah. Objection. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. Objection. Butts
Butts
with
with
security.
security.
Yeah. But, as it turns out, the guard never came.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
That
that's
was nothing more than a
supposed
coincidence. Yeah. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser
Ooh.
who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight would have known.
Oh,
He's
wow.
just fucking just dragging
Wow.
Larry out
Yes.
in front of court just out of spite.
Oh, man.
Parry this Edgeworth, you fucking casual.
There's just nothing that was necessary about that drag, but Phoenix went there. Oh, God.
Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off.
Hello, Josh. Welcome in.
Hello, Josh Payne 96. Let me know what happened to Josh Payne's 1 through 95. This buzzer is extremely loud. There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Conscious? What do you mean by that?
Ah.
Fine. Let's hear your theory. That's the judge's voice. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted.
Oh, it's Tony.
Oh, oh yeah, Tony's friend. Hello. I don't think I've actually legitimately asked you the question, so let me know. Well, that's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer has sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they had knocked out Ron DeLight and pressed the buzzer. Order in the con, Mr. Right. This is this is preposterous. It was this kid, Ron Delight, that was the one who killed Kane Bullard.
Objection!
Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course.
But he just died.
He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push the button. Ugh. So Mr. Kane sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? That's wrong, because there would have been fingerprints on it, and there were no fingerprints. I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? I can. Goto, that makes no sense. It makes perfect sense. If the
Because
person
he was strangled.
he was strangled, so if he had been crushed or passed out or there had been a struggle, like he would have been able to hit the buzzer, knocked him out, right?
Yeah.
The defense is and so it's a simple thing. It's very flimsy, but if we can just be like, no, that's not what happened, we can make our defense a lot better.
Yeah.
And we can. It's very simple. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer.
The buzzer
The
itself.
buzzer itself with no fingerprints. It is no, you're right. It's a flimsy freaking argument.
Yeah, it's flimsy, but it's still an argument. It's like it's a paper bag, but it still holds something.
Yeah. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence that you were looking for.
My God, who would have thought?
Englishing hard.
Phoenix Wright is teaching you vocabulary.
The emergency buzzer. Is there some kind of clue on it? Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give us something you thought that you... At least give some thought to what you say before you open your mouth. The fact there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue. I'm the one who's clueless. The button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind.
Yeah, let's not do that live.
That's not. Ron Delight obviously wiped them off. Why would he? If a guard could have come at any moment. He touched that button, I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he have possibly have had to wipe the button free of his own fingerprints?
Non-existent.
Yeah, wouldn't leave fingerprints, no reason he needed to wipe them, right? Order! It would seem. More coffee, please, thank you. I've been forced to eat crow.
I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer?
To frame
him.
Ron.
Yeah. Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks. Oh, that word parlor.
They're on to you, Nick.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. Okay, the real culprit killed Mr. Bullard around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? And the killer clobbered Mr. Delight, and then sounded the buzzer.
Even though the security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed.
Security was supposed to respond? So yeah, it's a frame setup.
Yeah.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Very well then. You've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. You're a real defense attorney, but I'm a real prosecutor. Why did the real killer sound the emergency to call the security guard? Yeah. The killer knew that if they pressed the button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Do you mean to say that the killer called the guard on purpose? Yes, although as it turned out, he never showed up.
Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
Well, there's a Lance Fife and a Lancer 7701. Are you two related?
Not all Lancers are related, jeez.
Oh, can't believe you. You guys can clock clean. I love the fact that they reference clock cleaning for Larry because his first case involved clocks. So anything involving clocks and Larry makes me laugh. Huh? What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called a guard to turn himself in? No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Rhonda Light, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer.
I like that suspiciously
We all knew who-
well-defined
The well-defined silhouette.
silhouette. I wonder
They're
what
not
this
even trying to
mystery
hide
is.
it. It's fucking at me. That's him. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only one left in the room would be the victim and Rhonda Light.
And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think I was the murderer.
Yes, that was precisely what the real killer's That was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Rhonda Light for the murder. Wait for it. So cool, so collected. Oh shit, this coffee's hot. Order! Huh. It would seem
Honestly, I wonder if he does this 17 times.
I've
throughout
been
the
made
trial.
to eat my own words once again. We can count them later on if you want. Actually, do you...
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee. Oh, Mr. Wright! Who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask, so... Nick! You mean the real killer is...
We're gonna have to drag that person in here right now.
But who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KP security that night. Let alone a bright red visor. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to wear colored lenses in court, not even lightly tinted. Oh, it's because he needs it to see. It's more like glasses, plus that. So the killer who used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kate Bullard. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ronald Lapp for the murder of Kane Bullard? It was none other than Prosecutor Godot. No, it was Meekins. Okay, Meekins is not here yet, but Meekins is a dopey cop that we like to blame everything on, just because he's such a pure, precious boy.
But yeah, he wears the visors just like
Yeah.
Is that the name? LaForge?
Jordy LaForge, yes.
Yeah, Jordy. That was.
Yeah, so he uses it to see.
Yeah, it's
It's
how
a
he sees.
prosthesis, yeah. A prosthetic, sorry. No, it's a detective look at me. He uses a look at me.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Ha ha, oui, oui.
Wait, Poutine.
It was you, the judge! No, it was Meekins! Detective look at me. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace detective.
Look at me. Look at me.
You mean Master Mask did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard.
The last time you just said he was Mask to Mask.
He's both.
Yes.
Oh, he's not the real Master Mask.
Yes.
It's just an elaborate setup.
Yeah.
I always remember using Meekins on the Ace Attorney online roleplay game. Yeah, he's so
Yeah.
nice and so pure, but a
Just
dunce. It's like-
to no end.
and like he hurt his hand and he'd be like, "It was that," and he goes, "Oh!" He's like, "Oh my god!" I keep forgetting my hand is broken. I love it. Order, Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Theft and murder, which is the more serious crime? They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment.
Ooh, they got capital punishment here.
Yeah, that's why I was like, ooh. Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Look At Me confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as Mask the Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty. Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. Meekins, can you like not scream into your already loud ass megaphone? I'm sorry, I was like, God, Meekins, we can hear you just fine. You don't need a speaker. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. Urns! In other words, being found guilty as Mask the Mask was Luke at me's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi. A guilty man. As an alibi? It's true. It becomes double jeopardy, right?
Yeah.
Or is it double jeopardy? No.
You cannot be tried for the same crime twice.
Yeah. You know, it's almost time. For what? For look at me's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course, that's assuming you have proof the detective was one who committed the murder. I think we do, yeah. Mr. Look at Me's trial was indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his crime, Mr. Delisle would be left with no grounds for appeal. Are you really sure about this? There's no other.
Greetings, undead.
Hello.
Welcome.
You're here for the sweet, sweet, sultry sounds of it. I bet it's only good when your life's at the end. I bet it's only good when your life's the end.
Oh, Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight.
So please, I'm begging you.
Oh god. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this?
Yes.
Well, like we've never had an appeal in our life, so yeah.
You want to be Mia? You want to be Mia?
You were Mia last time. Do it.
No, I wasn't. She was.
No, you're Mia.
Well, you're here right now. You want to be Mia?
You gotta do Mia.
It's okay.
No, you gotta do Mia.
No!
No, Mia, you sit right here. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it for the vine. She's gotta speak in a regular voice. Like
Yeah, you're just.
she's just a lawyer lady.
Just a lawyer lady. Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust.
Trust fam. Like, I don't know.
Trust fall.
Trust fall. I feel like that's something Maya would learn. Like, hey, I saw these really cool videos. You want to do trust falls? What trust fall? Thump. And Phoenix is just like,
You know, she wouldn't even say.
trust fall. Just
Yeah,
fall
she
over.
would just go, trust fall.
Just fall over.
Oh.
And like, Phoenix would be like,
Oh, Phoenix, I trusted you.
that voice. It sounds like Mia. Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. Huh. So that's your answer, huh? Very well, I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Look at me to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. Madame Undead. Mole lady. Oh wow, this is really late. Oh, it's really early. Oh, fucking. Oh yeah, Pain. Oh fuck.
He's the one that's.
Oh.
Peter.
Well, Mr. Detective, at me. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective, at me. You were the one who.
Oh my god, is this gonna be a
Oh my god, it's a new judge!
Oh!
He's fucking so rockstar! Oh shit, how do I do this?
Oh no, this is the judge's brother!
The judge's brother. Oh, they both have
Yes.
southern accents. That's enough.
This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Look at me.
It is the I forgot that this is the judge's brother, yeah. Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please! Well, it's a lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom. Oh, the Canadian! Oh, who's the hoser, eh?
Yeah!
He's a
hoser,
fucking
yeah?
Canadian. My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man. Look at me. Accusation? You accuse Master Mask? That man is not Master Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? No. What?
No, I do not like this new judge!
Who's this hoser, eh? What?
Who's
Who's this hoser? Oh, this is a two-parter. Okay, cool. So technically we can stop now. It's like,
this is early.
we could finish the case.
We
Yeah.
can do this.
Stolen Turnabout, was
Yes, the last one.
it? He's a fucking... the judge's brother's Canadian.
Well,
So,
I mean...
it's funny how like very opposite they are in the North American spectrum. It's like deep south, high north. You know?
Well, I mean, like...
Bring back my silly soul.
Adults are allowed.
That was the other courtroom being held by the other judge, and who was the brother of the
I mean,
southern
he's
judge.
allowed to move. He's an adult. He's a grown-ass adult. He's allowed. My sis.
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice.
So then, she's still alive, inside your heart.
Nikki boy!
She's got an en français voice. You can
You
try.
don't have to.
You don't have to, but try.
Oh, she has a French voice?
Yeah, you know,
Well,
she's
she's Desiree,
Desiree Delight.
but you don't have to.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
That is fine. Just
Oh, Miss Delight.
Is it true that Detective is the real killer?
Be the killer.
Really?
Be the killer. The hot eyes. Oh, oui, oui, poutine.
oui,
Je m'appelle
baguette,
Claude.
poutine.
To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. But he's the only one who could have done it.
But wasn't he Lordly Taylor that night?
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's not bad, actually.
Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atney want to kill Kane Bullard?
Because he was being the one that was blackmailed by Kane Bullard. Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. Yeah, no, he's being blackmailed. He was being blackmailed, so we decided to bring in Ron and have him
Be a scapegoat.
be a scapegoat for his murder. Yeah. Rebel. Poutine, baguette. Calice, was it? The tabernacle. Yeah, there we go. Calice de tabernacle. That's kind of how you lean.
Omelette du fromage.
Yeah, omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage.
Oui, oui, poutine. Je
Eiffel
m'appelle
Tower.
Claude Eiffel Tower. Omelette du fromage.
Croissant.
Croissant.
Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Look at me, please take the stand. Please take the stand.
I almost slipped into a Canadian accent, sorry.
Don't you mean
Well, how do you do, sir lawyer?
That was Canadian French.
Canadian. Oh yeah, Canadian
Oh,
French
yeah.
is super like, oh, je m'appelle Claude. Like super harsh, like, but then en français is that je m'appelle Claude, right? It's very light, but French Canadian is super tough.
Like, Montreal is the Texas of France.
Yeah, basically.
I love how there is always a Texas of somewhere.
It's annoying how Canadian French profanity has no definite English translation equivalent. So I had a coworker when I worked at Capcom. He is Quebec French, and the reason for that is because Quebec French likes to take their words and combine them to make the English equivalent. So they will take the literal definitions and merge them. For like rocking chair, they will say a rocking in French, chair in French. But then like in France French, they'll ad hoc English to make rocking chair. It's really weird, but I don't know. It's
etymology
hard.
of it is
etymology is different the way they do things.
Yeah.
It's ironic how more French Quebec wants to be than France itself. Anyway, I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand you down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask de Mask. I'm sorry, I'm afraid even the great look at me has no idea what you mean. Of course, I've been in the next courtroom since 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could have known what's been going on in her. Chalice of the Tabernacle. Is that what it is? Okay.
Yes.
Calice the Tabernacle. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask to Mask. Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, I even gave them a generous reward. They even gave me a generous reward upon returning their property to them. But take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my devout finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask to Mask. Except Tabernacle is used like a book. Oh, okay. Of course. Very well then, look at me. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at the time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, sir judge. Thanks. You're missing up a little higher.
But you see my hand.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, Mr. Atme. The night of the murder. Speak.
Speak, boy, speak.
Speak, bitch. We're all ears. As you say, prosecutor. Say, prosecutor. Divine finger. What the hell? That's a hell of a take. The alibi. I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mr. Damask was the same time as the murder. That's a lie. It's doctored. It seems the main point of discussion will be the photo of this crime scene. Hello, dear XPO. Welcome to the stream, my friend. If you don't know what we do here, we're a channel where 5 people play video games. I, right now, am playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney with bad voice dubs with my friend May. And Joyce is in the back. She's one of the main streamers of the channel. If you need some information, let the chat know. I'm pretty sure they kind of know what beats we're hitting on right now in terms of the story. So, yes. Hello. Everything else
Hi, I'm
up.
Baymax, your personal
Yeah,
healthcare.
hello. You know, funny story now. I actually do that more often than not. Just
What?
like when it's like, hey, Rash, I'm like, just like this,
Hello.
just do like a little handshake and just put my hand down.
Hello.
Let's do it at the same time.
Wait a minute, I know the murderer. We all know the murderer. We're actually right now. This is the final part. We know that Luke and me is the murderer. We're trying to find out
We're trying to
how
prove
he
it.
did it. We're trying to prove it, right? We're at the tail end of this particular.
Put your hand up.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hands up, hands up. Then we go. Bum 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 bum. Oh, so Joyce goes first, and
Oh.
then follow. Bum 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 bum.
That did not work out.
Yeah.
So it would have to be a way, right?
All right, let's do it again. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. That's so dumb. Sorry, stupid meme.
Mr. Sandman.
Ding 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 ding. If you've seen that cat meme where like the cat's like flowing in and out of the scene, yeah, that's what we're doing. Anywho, everything else up until now has been all part of the plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. It is. The camera's wrong because the paint is dry, right? But the assault happened there. But if that paint is dry by the time this photo is taken, then
We've already
yeah.
established that he has the software to fuck around with the timestamp.
Yeah, I know. Fucking the names are just redonkulous.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Even the great Master Mask cannot be in 2 places at once. Look at me commit his crimes. We're not making him commit his crimes. We're revealing that he did commit those crimes. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. He's also got a really thick Canadian French accent. Unfortunately, Mr. Atme, we still have to do your cross-examination. Accused murderer. He is the accused thief right now. We are now accusing him of murder and thieving. Kind of rolling it all into one. But so the plot here is that Look at Me is using his setup, this murder, is trying to avoid being accused of this murder by being accused of theft at a different place at a different time.
At the same time.
At the same time, right. And we're trying to prove to the judge and prove to the court that, in fact, that those are doctored and that he committed both crimes. So, yeah, well, more or less that he committed both crimes. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool.
Are you related to Von Karma?
Are you a Von Karma?
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick.
The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Bitch. Sorry. U-G-F-Y. You don't have no alibi. I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. At the time at which the camera captured Mr. Master Mask was the same time as the murder. Every time you say look at me, I snicker. Look at me.
Look at me.
Look at me. Okay,
So this alibi is false?
it has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security.
Thanks, I hate him.
Yeah, no, he is a garbage person. Hate him all you want. I hated him as soon as I saw him. He's this Pinocchio penguin motherfucker. Not spending the unusual. There are 2 possibilities. Either Master Mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. The photo is, they're both real. I was still in the urn. Let me just press it. I love Rashi's French Canadian accent. So this photo, it's very like very obviously stretched. It's not a legit. It's bad boy stubs, okay? That's why we say it's called bad boy stubs. Aw, thanks for the follow, my dude.
Thank you for the follow.
My dude and or dudette, if it suits your fancy. But yeah, again, this channel is 5 people play video games. Tomorrow we're gonna be Monster Hunter World with a bunch of friends, with all the people in the stream, except for James because he's gonna be away. And then we play different games every day of the week. So if you like a little bit of variety, feel free to keep following us. On top of that, if you want to see the other stuff that we've done, we have YouTube archive set up at YouTube Jerry Player Squad. So feel free to check that out if you don't see anything in our Twitch library. So this photograph is the proof, correct?
Look at this photograph!
Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I'm called the Mask of the Mask. But conveniently, that also means that there's no way to tell who this really is.
I know, poor James.
What do you mean? Huh? Are you saying that this is not, in fact, look at me? This could be an accomplice dressed up as Master Mask to create an alibi. Ho ho! What an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, along with Luke, had an accomplice? Nope. You do not have an accomplice. If Look at Me was at KP Security during the murder, then the mask in this picture has to be a fake. Then I really was an accomplice. That's my voice for Maya. But right now, I have no idea who it was. I don't have any idea right now either. Basically, just what this guy wants. Do you know who Godot's first name is? Yes, I do. I've played the series. I know most of the beats. Some of them are still like brand new to me. Like I didn't realize Larry Butts was in this particular episode. That threw me off. But I know most of the beats, most of the major beats. But the path there is completely like gone. Like I don't remember how to get there, so I will like literally like forget how to get to a certain point, even though I know everything. Because it's Phoenix Wright games are all about the details. Like you need to nail the details down. They get a little bit easier when you hit Apollo Justice. You can kind of like multiple pieces of evidence can lead to the same results, right? So it's not as rigid. But I remember bits and pieces, the major beats.
But yeah.
But it was always like a huge kick in the teeth when you like remember some of the details. It's like this gets really
this
dark.
Is,
yeah.
Oh, that's how that happened.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's got to be another way, and I'm gonna find it. I have more than enough time to prepare. With an easy job, the photo contains no words, but in this case, it has been witnessed. So his photo is doctored. That's what it's happening. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here? Is that correct? Indeed it is. And indeed it is. That is the very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had taken this picture. You had this picture taken on purpose. You were simply caught by the very camera that he had set up.
That's...
We all have days like that. Indeed, it turned out that there was no such thing as a perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing. I said the blue melody. Looks like I'd better gather more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's something that's phony in that photo. I can present it, I think.
Not yet.
At the time at which the captured the mask takedown. Okay, cool. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come on now! It's out to clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on that photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed the picture's data. Sorry, pictures. I'm trying to get the French in there with the picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious.
So this alibi is false?
It has to be, or it couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security.
Not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either the mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo is a...
Photo itself is fake?
No. You know what it is? It's fake. It's not him.
It's the statue.
Okay, so yes, the statue. Is it? No. Okay. Okay. Let's.
There should be like a. Did you press everything a second time?
Not yet. No, I thought it was the statue because the statue has like a lot more. Yeah, and the statue would be holding it. I thought it was the statue for a second.
There's something else that you can press.
Yeah, I had more than time. It's specifically easy, as I announced I would. So this is like the calling card, right? So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. Man, I'm wearing a mask. That's why I'm called Mr. Mask. Oh, I think I pressed the wrong one. Are you saying that's in fact look at me? Could have been an accomplice. Interesting idea. No, sorry, I pressed the wrong one, didn't I? I'll give it up for now. It was actually Meekins! I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is kind of the statue, kind of.
Kind of sort of the statue.
Yes.
The security camera is taken days before the CEO's murder. Yeah, so there's a timestamp, but not a day stamp. So yes, it is in fact doctored. But they said they got that photo from Lordly Taylor.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, you printed that off from Lordly Taylor.
Stealing a mask. I said I would.
Like, you were the one that printed the, well, not the photo, but the record.
Yeah, I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. When did Elise move the stuff? What do you mean, Elise?
I think he means, Andrew.
Oh, yeah,
Adrian.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. It was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right?
This is the last part of this trial, so at the end of this, we'll get our verdict.
Yeah. Indeed, there was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see, you truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am.
Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Atney was always proud of his ace detective skills. But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. Photograph contains the words.
Press it!
No.
Press it!
Oh, we. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves that I committed the crime, right? Very committed the crime. Surely even you understand by now. Okay, so we've already read this. Lordly Taylor provided the camera. There's no way it could have been tampered with. That means I could not have killed King Bullard unless I had an accomplice. And then, come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse in this picture was that supposedly captured it. It's gotta be here. There's something funny about this. Is there something funny about this picture?
You bet there is.
Are you implying that this picture is fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night just before the theft took place, and there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Right, so
This is where that.
it's the pain.
Yeah, this is where that statue comes in.
Yeah. Very well, let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? It's the second thing here, right? Freezing. It should be the pain area. Yeah. The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Oh, blood! Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. This stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that. From blood to peaches. This judge sure loves going on his wild tangents.
How are you still,
Nutty. Oh, whenever I shout out Meekins, it's because there's the character Meekins, who's a very sweet patrolman that is very pure, but is also a dunce. So he is the last person you suspect to commit any crimes, even though he was in fact accused of murder at one point. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse.
Hello, Jiffy.
Hello, Jiffy friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. We have a running joke, yeah.
Yeah.
The culprit is Meekins. If we don't know who it is, it's Meekins. Well, Mr. Rat, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? Meekins! No, that's the Fade Me Fade gold statue.
It's always Meekins.
It's always Meekins. The survivor. Survivor. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Oh, did you want to do Adrian Andrews, Joyce? Or do you want to do Adrian Andrews?
Okay. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be a perfect size for covering up the paint stains, and that's why I put it there where you first saw it.
I myself was there that night the theft took place, and I saw that statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then the statue should have been there. But when I went there, the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Oh wow, Jesus. Old bag, come on, have some respect. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally. Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why the statue was moved that night?
Can you do it, Nick?
Never mind who moved it. The real question is why they moved it.
Recreate the picture.
Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one who moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? That was Luke and me.
At me! Look at me!
Look at me. The one who moved the statue was none other than Mr. Luke at me.
You have been reunited with your cat and she keeps you warm.
Yes, that's
that
what they
is
do.
good.
Actually, is that cat underneath you?
This side.
Oh, they're on this side? Okay. Just move ever slightly and we will reveal some cats. It's a cat. There's the cat. There we go. Okay, come back.
Surprise cat.
I realize the microphone is slightly in here, but whatever.
That's fine.
Come now, Sir. There you go again with one of your strange delusions.
That one is
Mr.
named
Rye,
Fred.
what basis do you have for your strange delusions?
We have
It's-
another one named George. You bet your ass they're both gingers.
It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue, here's where our battle truly begins. Can we get a cat close up? In a minute. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move the statue? What reason can be found here in this photograph? Look at me. You were pretending to be masked to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains.
What kind of cartoon physics bullshit was that?
Hello, James. Hello. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would have been exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. That's why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw. Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does a lie exist? What does? It's a box. I'm pretty sure it's a box.
Present the
It's a box.
timestamp.
Is it?
Apparently.
You sure?
That's what the tutorial says.
Okay. Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Okay, so what happens here is that he moved it. The photo is supposed to take a picture of the scene of what exactly it's supposed to look like, right? Mm-hmm. But the statue was put there, right? So the reason why the statue wouldn't be there is because it didn't come in until that day at noon. So the photos are different because he's trying to recreate it as it was supposed to look like, but then was.
Hi.
Oh, also hi, James and Asher in the stream now. And so what happens is that it was there, and then
it wasn't.
And then it wasn't. So basically, like, there's a problem in that he took a photo preemptively and then realized, oh fuck, I have to move the statue so that the photo that I take is the same. But why would someone move the statue, right? To make it mimic. So like,
He took the photo first, and then the
statue came,
arrived.
so he had to move the statue. But why would anyone do that? Because they're trying to tamper with the evidence that they have to make the photo 1-to-1, right? Now, I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke at me went to KP Security and murdered Kate Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lord Lee Taylor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor. When was the statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke and me had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this photo days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ugh. So the day of the crime, Mr. Atme would have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. I have no idea what that's reference to. Oh, because his tail would get crushed.
Oh.
The rocking chair and the tail. Okay, gotcha. I don't know why Phoenix is going to such lengths to be classy or to be like overly sophisticated. Maybe he's getting bad habits from Godot. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be. Why? Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. Right. So it messed up his crime photo, his post-crime photo, and that is why Luke at me had moved the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make room. He did it to make the room match the way it had been in this photo. Sacre bleu! Order! Mr. Atme, is this true? One moment, Your Honor, have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off the night of the crime. It is true the camera had been set up by Lord Lee Taylor's staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. Rogue One said it in the old X-Men cartoon. You look as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Oh. That might be an X-Men reference, actually, yeah. Or just be a Southern reference. So yeah, we're like, yeah, the cameras were set up by the company, but you said, but the software is yours, so you could do anything you want to it, even change timestamps if you wanted to. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Ugh, sacre bleu! My God! Order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? Wait for the spit take. Spit take. Nope. Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put down that coffee. My 11th cup. I've promised to drink no more than 17 during the trial, which means I'm still good till the last round. However,
is that a Folgers commercial?
Yeah, it's a Folger. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point. So what? We are all but travelers on a road of even points.
I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points.
So you said this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied. Which is? That it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? There's no funny business in your actions as Master Damask. There should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about how you plan to steal the sacred urn. The sacred urn has the... I first received the request from Lord Lee Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zavaria. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. Oop, that's something new. I knew it was extremely valuable treasure, so I saved my card 10 days beforehand. So, both of those are lies.
Yeah.
Both of those are one of them is alive. The other one is
New information.
new information. Hello, Pythilus. Pythilus. Say hello to the stream. The people are cool.
We're cool, right?
We're cool. I'm cool. You're cool. I then handled security by myself to ensure my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. Urn.
That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah, but we'll find out the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time. Zivari! I don't know. Very well then, Mr. Rat, you may begin your cross-examination.
I cannot wait to take him to task. Like, nail him.
I'm gonna fucking kick your ass.
Just rake you across the coals.
First, the roof goes 3 days ago. I was placed in a box in the VAR. It was in the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn until the day.
Interesting.
I'm gonna press that because that's interesting new information. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed, you may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, look at me. Let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers.
Okay.
I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure. That's a fucking lie. You mean this calling card? That's right. That is without a doubt my calling card.
I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all.
Of course, because Abby knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. I then handled security by myself to ensure the crime would go smoothly. Anything else I need to see here? The urn was placed in a box. Actually, that's a lie, wasn't it? You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. She wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me.
She wasn't so much taken with it as she was terrified that it was already broken.
Someone would find out that it was broken, yeah. Huh, interesting new tidbit. That's new, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna push everything, so what's happening. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss with Adrian Andrews, is that correct? Indeed, it seemed that they had heard of my Svarglin reputation. Oh god. I see Miss Andrew is still tracking the weirdos. You'd better watch out too, Maya. The urn was placed in a box, hence I was unable to see the urn myself until the day of the crime. That's strange. I knew it was extremely valuable. That's also wrong. Let me just quickly check the stuff that I have. Broken and repaired by Andrews 2 weeks ago, and then placed in a box to be kept in the site.
Okay, so maybe he hasn't actually seen it.
Okay. Asks on second heist, stealing directly mail letters. Table of crime, first heist guard. Let's get torn off. Found the key to security, blah blah blah. There's the crime. Security camera. So there's no paint on this box.
No, I mean, it could be the paint could be
Yeah, on the other side, yeah. Camera data.
What's in the actual?
To security Lord Taylor becoming to purloin the most priceless work of art, blah blah blah.
Well, it's
Take it over the speckled urn, won't you? But he said speckled, right?
Hmm.
So it wasn't speckled until 2 weeks prior. And he said he sent his card 10 days beforehand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's true. But then he says like I hadn't
He says he hasn't seen it. If he hadn't seen it
until the day of the crime, that's a lie. Because he
Yeah.
wouldn't have known it was speckled. Because there's
Yes.
nothing that shows that it had been previously.
what if he thinks it smells like pearl?
Yeah, that's also true. He would have realized immediately that it was wrong because it's supposed to be I am at the time that it was given to the museum, and then restructured to be Mia, which was
Amy.
Amy, and then had pink paint on it from being smashed on the floor. Mr. Atme, if you really are Mask the Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course! There's a problem with the calling card. Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask the Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to the pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? Truth be told, there's no way that Mask the Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? this pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains. And these stains do not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trent.
I think you're on your 12th cup now.
Yeah, 12th cup. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human.
Oh man.
And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. Yeah, out of nowhere. It's like, canonically, it just comes out of nowhere. He magically summons cups of coffee. That's his superpower. And yet, this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atney had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. It's a stupid awesome power. Yeah, that's true. But then again, he summons different brews of coffee, so none of them are, all of them are good, which kind of sucks. And because this photo is fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water.
What?
I don't know, Tim Allen. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? All right, that did it. He's broken.
Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose.
Huh?
13th cup.
It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction? Conviction, you say? Yesterday we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask the Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer? You don't think we're being a little tad fickle? That's a good point. No way! Don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that Look at Me was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? Served cold. Black coffee from Old Town White Coffee, served cold. It could be anything. He even said he's had bad cups of coffee. He's like, what, 117 blends or something?
At least 107.
At least 107 blends, yeah.
At least.
Oh, an excellent point. Motive, Mr. Rat, motive. Matthew Mary murderous motive manifest.
Nick, he's getting his second win.
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron DeLatte, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. He was being blackmailed. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron DeLatte. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed, according to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, Sir Otamar. Otamar. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. So now he's gonna be like, it's the reason why he would kill him. I would not kill because I'm too cool. Look at me, have no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Ken Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron DeLatte. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. DeLatte for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he was Mask the Mask. That is why Mr. DeLatte saw it fit to kill Ken Bullard. Truly a tragedy. The real test just began.
Yeah.
So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwritten test confirms that Mr. Bullard... Oh, sorry, I'm slipping into a French accent. The handwritten test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter.
How does he take 13 cups of coffee without taking 13 restroom breaks? You know what? That's part of his superpower, apparently.
His superpowers to
Or he just has like a
be
catheter.
able to contain
I was gonna say
massive amounts of coffee and laxatives.
No, I was gonna say he has a catheter hooked up.
Yeah. My secret, he's like, you wanna know my secret? I'm always peeing.
I came prepared.
I'm always angry. Godo has a very big kidney. Kidneys, plural.
Very big bladder. If you had a very big kidney, you'd be producing that urine real quick.
Yeah. What? Blackmail letter updated in the court record. Cool. So we know it's written by Bullard. That's all we confirmed on that. Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. You'll see this ring is really pretty, right? Yeah. It brings all the girls to the yards, you know.
Godot clearly has a bladder of steel.
Look at me. I had no points of contact with the victim. That's a lie. I think the blackmail letter could be applied here, but let's see. And who in the world was that? And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. After doing a thorough background check on Detective Atney and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find the links between them. It's all in the report. Perhaps they were connected to their work. They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Deland. You can drink coffee fresh hot, and some guy drank Godot's coffee and then died. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask. They mistook who it was. Mistook? That's right, mistook. From the Old Norse mistaka, which means to take in I
don't.
That's not true. That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake Master Mask to be? Well, the answer is obvious, Ron the Lad, of course. Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. Impressive.
Might as well.
Why would the victim why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask? Don't you already know that? Zavari! Take a look at this newspaper. Oh, this is the famous Ear of Emanon, a magnificent jewel. It's funny because Emanon, Emanon backwards is no name. I'm like, is that on purpose? A tier of no name. The photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard namely the defendant. The defendant? The victim clearly misread the article, and Zavari, he got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact the mask of the mask. Ugly. I see.
That was an unusually reasonable deduction.
At me, yeah, they're both ridiculous characters. There's never a character.
There's no such thing as a reasonable character.
In Phoenix Wright, yeah. Give us Mr. Bullard with a blackmail letter. That is true, though. You mean this blackmail letter here, right? It says bring $50,000. And the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's. There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere. An addressee? This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment, and Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place in time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. I wonder.
What's up, Nick?
Yeah, I switch to decaf late at night so I don't drink proper coffee. It's just I need to sleep and I'm old. I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight?
Whoa. Do you have any evidence of that?
I do. For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter.
Indeed.
Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? And it was a game Mr. Bullard that hurt the betrayal. There's no proof that he did, though. What do you mean by that? Oh, now I'm certain you are already aware. Zavari!
The KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was security team chief, I stole data from the company.
Kane Bullard had yet to forgive you, Mr. Delat, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. Here's the file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't this a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually a Master Mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. Do you really think that story's gonna hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid.
What do you mean? I have here a memo from Ron Delight's wife, Desiree Delight.
14th cup.
Ronnie thinks he's Master Mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. Well, Mr. Delight. Was he trying to act like Mr. Light right now?
I thought he was actually pretty convincing.
To be fair, French and Spanish accents are a bit similar. They're both
The
romance languages.
romance languages. You can...
So sometimes I'll slip in and out of like a French accent while I'm transitioning between Atme and Yoda. That is why. No, sorry. So that is why he's Delight. No, that is why I'm Mr. Delight. So it fit to kill Mr. Ballard. Now that's just your imagination talking. Come now, Sir Lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't quite the word for it. This is a deduction, a result of a carefully applied reasoning. Can we hear that careful reasoning for ourselves? It is a long story and better saved for another time. Very well, another time. The so-called long stories aren't usually that long, at least not in my experience.
So you're gonna try and connect Detective Atme to Mr. Bullard, right?
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either.
In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail.
That's true. Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron?
Since we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony.
Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way.
Haven't you already?
I did. No points in contact whatsoever. Decided I missed who he was. Mr. Bullard. That's where it's
That's
wrong.
the one.
Let me pass it one more time, see what's up. The blackmail letter here. There's no mistake. Okay, I'm gonna take a shot.
Take a look at the letter itself.
It references a
A red jewel.
but Ron doesn't have a red jewel.
Yes.
Atme
indeed.
has a red jewel. He fucking
Indeed.
flaunts it every fucking time.
Indeed.
This,
Look at him.
oh, he's never like, and it always shines. He's quite fucking proud of it.
Indeed. Pretty sure that's the one you wanna present.
No.
No, I mean sorry. The letter on the
Sorry, what?
it was meant for Ron Delight, and then you present the letter. Sent to Ron.
What are you talking about? This is the last Kane. Mistook who he was. It was
Sent to Ron,
oh, this one.
and then present the letter. You can check the letter first.
Yeah. So the letter is if you don't, I'll take that red diamond, and that you received the other day instead.
Yeah, but Ron never received the red diamond, and he's the one that keeps harping on about how he got a red diamond
For returning.
for returning something.
Yeah. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. You're fucking on the defense, Sam. Come on. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. Oof, savage. You're the one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. What?
Then you do the clip, the newspaper clipping that shows the blue pearl.
This one? Yeah, this is a newspaper clipping, right?
Yes, the blue one.
Yeah, because in it has the yeah. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel. Look at the sweat dripping off those long ass nose. Yeah.
Know, right?
In Japanese, Wright's last name is Naruhodo. Yeah, which means and another character mixes it up with Maruhodo, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Naruhodo. Was it?
Ryusuke.
Ryusuke Naruhodo, which is Ryusuke OIC. Essentially.
Yeah.
Or basically, aha. What about it? The problem is the jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tear of Emanon that Master Mask stole at all. Objection! And your point is, Mr. Trites? So you're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? Is that what you're trying to say? Right, Trites? Oh, he's getting real pushy about it. That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Rat?
Well, that's what you're trying to say, right, Nick?
I love how they call him Mr. Trite, and everyone's like, Mr. Right, right?
At least you went right, Nick.
Yes! This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing.
At me.
Meekins. It's always Meekins.
Well, Mr. Right. Well,
He was
Nick,
blackmailing me! I'm Master Mask! We're all Master Mask! No. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You've been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. It was Larry! So, a jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring! Yeah.
I don't know how he poses with it.
What ring? I don't know what you're talking about. What ring? I don't know. Oh shit. Oh shit. That is the diamond referred to in the letter, which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you.
the penguin is melting.
Is that pretty? Wait. Order in the court. The order, I say. It
What are
seems
that,
you've
15
gotten
cup?
too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Right. Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that.
Is that a
Kane
6'2"
Bullard.
bear?
Yeah, Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real? Yes, I am.
Nick, come on, stand up to him.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. You don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke at me's identity public knowledge.
Took a calculated risk, but man, am I bad at math.
An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? That he was a fraud.
Don't forget the family motto. Don't fuck up.
Short controlled bursts.
Short controlled bursts.
Ouroboros. Atme killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known.
Wow.
What was the identity he wanted to keep secret?
This is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity that Luke Atme wanted so desperately to keep secret was
A black.
was he black? No, not
He
black.
was he was blackmailing Ron. Because he was blackmailing Ron.
No, you're right. He's a blackmailer. Yeah, because we know that he's not really masked. The mask? Because he's not an ace detective. Because he's bullshit. That's not an identity he wanted to keep secret. That's an identity he put forward.
Yeah.
Master Mask isn't actually his.
Yeah.
He simply uses Master Mask, or someone was using Master Mask.
Yeah.
So he is a blackmailer. He's middlemaning between KB Security and Ron. So he would receive the blackmail letters to steal something, and then he, the middleman, would then forward that blackmail letter and information to Ron, who would then steal it, dead drop it back to Atme, who would sell it back to KB, and then that endless cycle of freaking like ridiculousness. I'm a big man now. Hey, you're a dick gumshoe.
Nick.
Dick. No one likes more than a big fat dick in the body. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was a blackmailer. Look at me. Was a blackmailer. Objection. Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying?
Is he a thief or is he a murderer or is he
He's
a blackmailer?
everything, yeah. You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Look at me. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
You have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atney. But Rhonda Light was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So you did the echo. I need an echo or something for these past scenes. Like, so you started receiving blackmail letters after this incident?
Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
I need to get a voice synthesizer. I can do it. But oh god, it'd be so stupid. Atme is committing the crime. He's not committing all the crimes. What he's doing is that he's middlemaning between crimes, technically. Technically, he's done the worst crimes. Anyway, detailed plans. In which case, that would mean that Ron Light was actually Master Mask. That is what we're claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme. Shh! Silence!
At me, committing all the crimes.
Silence! Now I see it's all becoming clear. What is it? When you are in grade school, you receive the same report card every year. Careless with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you? Legit, actually. You say that I, look at me, was blackmailing Ron the Light, in which case I would have naturally known all about their relation to Master Mask. Well, yes. Ron the Light started receiving plans from his second crime onwards, correct?
Am I wrong?
Which means I learned of his identity when he committed their first crime. Good point, you certainly could have blackmailed him. You couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise.
16th cup?
In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence.
Oh,
During the
16
first
cups, we're getting close to the end.
During the first crime, how did Look at Me know that Ron the Light was Master Mask? The brooch?
No.
The clipping?
Perhaps?
I think it's the clipping.
I think, perhaps.
Let's try it. I got it. Yeah, I think I see it. I see what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into a lot of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron the Light in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out. That's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme.
Yes, Ron did mention stashing his costume in the trash.
Yeah, that's when you learned that he was Master Mask. What the? Master Mask? I can't believe that he was inside his back. Burn him! Cut his balls off! Cut his freaking balls off! Why, yeah, how dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud East detective and also Master du Mask. Why can't you understand that? Oh, he's
Take that, at me, or should I say, don't at me.
Don't ask me, bro.
Don't.
I'm afraid you're neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That's your true identity. Why, yeah. How dare you even imply counterfeit with depth, loaded depth, while you're trying to do something to do with your big mouth of yours? Are real fools. Fool as I say, none of you can be a genius. You're really just jealous. So go on, come out there. Come on there. There's nothing more greater than an ace detective can handle blackmail, murder, threats. I'll get away with it. It's enough to make one laugh. Clip it.
Oh, God, why is it always you? Oh.
I knew he was the masked man all along. Damn.
Damn.
It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer.
Oh,
That was
Quite a performance by Mr. Atme.
By the way, if Joyce is not here and I get to voice Maya, my voice, I told May this, or I've seen it before. Her voice is this. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme. She's got a really low, buzzy, like annoying in your ear voice.
Well done.
Yeah, I try.
done.
I try. Bailiff, please prepare a sail for Mr. Atme, preferably padded. No!
17th cup. The last of this trial. It better be, or else.
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim.
What do you mean?
I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge.
But that's not your job. You don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite.
What do you...
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Look at Me was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't that lordly tailor the night of the murder.
That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr.
But there's still one thing you have yet to prove.
That he actually didn't kill him.
Yeah. What's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB Security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No way! Order in the court. Well, Mr. Rat, this is the final round. I've got to prove that Atme was at Buller's office on that night.
But can you really prove that?
That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer.
That night, Look at Me was at KP Security, and the defense can't prove it. We can prove it, right?
I would
Actually,
like
let me just double check the court record. Can we prove that he was there at the TV crime? The camera data says blah blah blah. Yes, he was. Cause
Do you have anything that can actually prove that he was there? I don't think so. Like, you have proof that he was being blackmailed, but you don't have proof that he was there.
Adrian dropped the box. Say we earned pink stains on it. Isn't it maybe the door trigger? The door.
Wouldn't there be like fingerprints?
No, because they both wear gloves. Look at me, he wears
Yeah,
gloves.
he does.
He was from the Bullard. Photo of the store entrance taken by the camera the night of the crime. Mask to mask knocked Atme out during the crime scene with a blow to the back of the head. This is wrong. I think this is the actual murder weapon. Or was it asphyxiation, was it?
It was association.
What's
He had
it?
a tie.
So the storeroom had a trigger device that said it went off, right? Used on October 12th, the night of the crime at 1 a.m.
There's nothing that ties.
No,
There's nothing that ties at me directly. You can't.
I can't prove it. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. Rabble, 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 rabble. But if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony,
We all clipped that, didn't we?
unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite.
what do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
What?
Have you forgotten? Look at Me is here after we interrupted his own trial. You have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as mask to mask.
No.
Well, now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron the Lats will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
Oh God, what an ass. Order in this court. That's enough deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is...
Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and...
By then it'll be too late.
What? What? Why?
Glub glub. Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law.
Double jeopardy.
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court,
The defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts, and it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Atney will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Master Mask, which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of Cain Bullard is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atney's guilt of the crime here means that he will never again be tried as Cain Bullard's murderer.
Ah, shit!
Ah, shit, dudes! No, Phoenix. I love how his fingers neatly curl over his little horns, his spikies. There's nothing I can do. Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atney, will go free. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Come on, buddy, think of something. Oh, shit, man. I just want my coffee. Then I hereby end this cross-examination of Luke Atney. Oh, fuck. Did we fuck up?
Objection! Desiree.
It's you, May.
Yeah.
Your Honor. No, wait. Yes, she has a French accent.
No, it's
No,
not.
this is not Desiree.
No?
This is Mia.
Who is it?
Mia.
Oh, Your Honor. When you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you?
Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets.
I feel like that's not exactly how that works. Double jeopardy? Yes, technically that's how it works. If you're accused of the crime and found innocent, then they're not going to charge you again for it. Wow, it's May's original Ace Attorney role. Yeah.
I know, right?
His voice. No way.
Long time no see, Phoenix.
So for those of you who don't know, Maya's been having some real tough time trying to channel Mia again, and so she's been feeling kind of down about it. But now, boom, she's appeared. So the streak is over. Or the cold was a.
No, it was Kathy that did Mia first.
No, she did the.
When she was
Oh
brutally
yeah,
murdered.
that's Kathy.
And because it was like, she's dead.
I was like, yeah,
What?
Kathy, you
Like,
didn't know.
yeah, because you were gonna be here one day. I didn't think.
Like, you didn't know? I thought you played this game. No!
No!
She was like, so sad. Okay. Mia! This is the true power of the Karain channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey.
Now, let's do this.
But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine.
Not yet. The testimony's not over yet.
What do you mean?
Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today.
Yes, that's true, but...
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end. After all, I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. My verified that. Just as Ron the Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Echo. Yes, but these comments appear to be no importance whatsoever.
Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor?
Now you gotta say it really smooth in the mic.
Prosecutor.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're like, that's right, I'm the prosecutor.
He's shook.
He's a little shook, yeah. Is something the matter, Mr. Godot? Nothing. Oh, Sir Lawyer, it looks like you are one step too late. If you think such falsehoods would do anything to me, look at me. Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Cotto, what are ye? Very well then, Mr. Look at me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks.
Oh, the defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please give us one last bit of testimony.
Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance.
Yes, Chief.
The last testimony.
Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lord Teller. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about that date beforehand, so I had this photograph ready. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was around the land. And thanks to the card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. A button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim could have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delat was wearing his mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim simply mistook the color of the jewel. The body! Therefore, all the evidence points to the poor boy. Godot's out of coffees, yeah. This testimony actually holds up pretty well, but he's just regurgitating what we've been talking about, right? The witness' earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer. Ugh. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Rat. Yes, Your Honor. I cannot postpone Luke Atney's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a sec. Just one chance? Huh. Seems that the party's about to begin.
Well, Phoenix,
There isn't any evidence that contradicts that testimony.
so it would seem.
What do you mean, so it would seem?
Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it.
Ooh, 18th cup of coffee.
Oh, this is cup number 17. The last cup. Seems like the last time, but it seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial.
I must have miscounted at some point.
Yeah, so this is the 17th cup, this last cup. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony. And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. So I have to present a profile. Which means all I can do is find a contradictory remark and press it.
Remember, you only get one chance.
You better save.
No, we're going fucking ham on this, you know?
Oh my god!
Very well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your final
Press the option
cross-examination.
button and save.
Fine. Joyce doesn't like any fun.
You're gonna have to start all over
I
again.
know, I swear to God, I am leaving
Gamble
you.
all.
This is what breaks the relationship. 13 years.
Hashtag Jesus saves.
13 years.
Coward
I will
save, coward
leave-
save, coward
I
save.
will leave you for this.
Yeah, we're done. 13 years down the drain, I'm done here. Indeed, it was truly, I was press!
that's true.
I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request.
Bullshit, but that's
Okay.
not gonna do anything.
I'd known about the date beforehand, so I had a photograph for a deed. What date beforehand? Oh,
The date of the blackmail?
yeah.
Okay.
A brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was on the light. Sure. And thanks to the key card and wallet. Yeah. So yeah, how does he know the key card and wallet was there?
We brought up the keycard and wallet last court
True. So we
to
got.
prove that he was at KB.
I also was able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. So how do you, what? So what? He doesn't know that either because we got that straight from KB security, right?
Okay, we'll just double check against our own evidence. So, yeah, buzzard record went off CEO's office. Okay, that's it. But that's only no. Actually, no. We got that through the prosecutor. Prosecution brought the buzzer.
We got the buzzer information this trial.
Yeah, but he wasn't here for that, right?
He wasn't.
Okay, so he wouldn't have known that the buzzer went off. Okay, let's just do a few things. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why?
How does he know
The
that?
victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means that the killer sounded it. Okay, that's what we talked about in front of him, so that's what he knows, right?
No.
Okay, and that's questionable. Mr. Delight was wearing his Mask the Mask outfit, which is why he left prints. Nobody knows that. He just mentioned that. Like, how did he know that
Yeah,
he
he
wasn't?
wasn't in there when.
Yeah, how? No one knew that. No one knew. Nobody
one
knew that he
knew.
was wearing that outfit,
Yeah.
except for the person the victim himself, and the killer. Right. So Ron, the victim, and the killer were the only three people who would have known that would have happened. Because Ron said specifically he was able to dodge the security. So this is in question. Mistook the. Okay, that's fine. Wearing his mask. Conjecture, but whatever. Zavare. Poor boy. This is it. This is the one that's it. Pretty
He
sure.
was wearing mask to mask outfit. He could
Yeah.
not possibly know about
Yeah,
that.
Mr. Atme, about this last remark. You still don't get it, do you? Right. This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? Mr. Atme, it seems you finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office the night of the murder. There we go, yeah. How could you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Light was wearing his Mask to Mask outfit. Is that correct? Ron is stupid, so getting the color wrong checks out. No. The person who made the blackmail letter was Bullard,
It was the CEO.
the CEO. So sure, you could say like, yeah, maybe he got the color wrong, but it's not testimony shattering. Really, it's just conjecture. Indeed, that is what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More likely, your deductions prove that you're a fool.
No.
I'm sorry, whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron the Light was dressed as Mask to Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Yeah, right?
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now.
Okay, remind me to find the synth, because that is fucking funny. We're gonna add some more production value to this stream.
No.
I didn't mean as
man.
testimony breaking. It's just a dumb thing that Ron would totally do.
Oh,
Oh yeah, but
yeah,
again, Ron
sure.
didn't write the letter. It was Kate Bullard. And that's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who would have known this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There's no way that you should have known about that. Aye! Aye! Utirina! You were in the next courtroom being tried as Mask to Mask. So then enlighten us. Just how did you know about that last piece of information? Come on! These detectives must have known about it. You probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. The night Mr. Delight was wearing that night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Mask to Mask outfit. There is one and only one way for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one? One way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
For a second, my client witnessed the real killer. But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. There's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was look at me.
But the killer saw him.
The killer saw. Yeah. It's with this statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying?
Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. Whip! Just like, backhand. There he is!
Yeah, somebody!
That bitch backhand with the golden diamond ring spammed on the face. Detective Atme, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known that what Ron was wearing. Oh shit, what the hell's going on here?
Ooh, earthquake!
Oh shit! He's going Saiyan! He's going Super Saiyan! We take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival with my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. Oh, this is exactly what he was saying.
Deja vu yet. That is exactly what he said last.
That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Baguette effort. That was an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atme tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty of the Master Mask, as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with his plan to use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth.
Excuse me?
I came perilously close to besmirching the record of this innocent young man. This is the third time he said that. Besmirching him with the title of murderer.
Don't ignore me!
Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be?
About the verdict?
Ah, no, you never committed any murder.
That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Master Mask!
Oh, he's still fucking going off about that. Huh?
That was a point of pride, man.
Yeah, I know.
So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now,
Yeah,
right?
he can't be convicted as being Master
Yeah.
Mask anymore.
What was it you said? Double jeopardy?
Okay. I'm just throwing it out there. Do you think Ron is purposely acting like an idiot just so that he could get the double jeopardy rule? Like, he knows he's innocent. He doesn't want to go to jail for being a thief, but he also doesn't want to get done in by murder. So technically, by getting out of the first trial, he is now double jeopardyed out.
That's a huge risk to take. And to put your faith
Could it
into...
be? It could be super clever or just dumb fucking luck.
Dumb fucking luck. Okay, I'm sorry.
Now that you mention it, I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia?
As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent.
Then Master Mask is really innocent?
It would seem so. For now.
For now?
He can't be tried as Master Mask for the theft of
The urn.
Yeah.
But he can be
tried for the theft of any of the other.
Actually, no, because they lumped him all together, so technically he can't be.
Oh, that's true.
So if he goes on stealing again, technically he could be
Tried afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, for his other ones. Incredibly reckless or clever or really dumb fucking stupid luck. Now then, the court finds the defendant, everybody, not guilty! Yay! Confetti! Nailed it.
But yeah, like when this whole thing first came up, Ron turned himself in because he wanted to be
Master Mask.
He wanted to be tried as Master Mask and to be found innocent for that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, found guilty for that because he knew, he already knew about the murder.
Yeah.
He was like, oh shit, I can't get caught for this. If I had to take a risk, I'll take the risk for being a thief. It was Desi that that actually called Phoenix.
Like,
Like, Ron had no intention of getting a proper trial.
yeah, he wanted to go away as the thief.
Ron was ready to go away as a thief.
All right.
Oh, boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master. I just really want to be a fantasy.
You did it, Phoenix.
Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days.
Oh?
I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days.
You mean about becoming the master of the Karain channeling school?
Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother.
Misty Faye, right?
Watch over her, will you, Phoenix?
Of course.
Well then, see you around.
Mia.
Oh, Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say.
Congratulations, Mr. Delight.
Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore. Oh, come on, just be happy already.
Maya.
You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Master Mask to boot. But in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Mask to Mask? I did it all for one reason. I did it for her. The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah,
Men
The Simpsons.
do it for her.
You mean your wife, Desiree?
She hates criminals more than anything.
Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she?
She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have had any reason to stay with me.
That is a very shallow foundation for your relationship.
I thought she would leave me for sure.
So that's why you became Master Mask.
Yes, but it's all over now.
Hope they find a better way to make money.
Milk and
You
Bull
never
can
know.
never be put back together.
Well, that's not true.
That's not true, right, Nick?
That's not true. Right.
Really? Can we go back to the way things were?
Are you stupid?
Oh, you'll be fine, and Nick can prove it.
Yep, I
Show
can.
him the...
Earn! I can? Kind of wish you would check with me first. Mr. Light, even if a bowl is broken, there is a way to put it back together. This button. No, the sacred.
The sacred urn. Desi was the one who found this.
Desiree, your wife, she's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
Ah, there you are.
There you are.
There you are.
Mr. Light. You did it, Ronnie.
I don't know.
Don't worry
like-
about it
You
if you
just do
can't
it.
do it.
You did it, Ronnie.
Perfect.
You're excellent, innocent. I'm so happy.
Nice.
Good. She's like a weird, like,
Oh,
trying to
thank
Americanize.
you. I appreciate that, but I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you?
Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. Never imagined. Oh, I'm going like back into English.
It's fine.
That's
like,
fine. Just
It's basically similar. It's very
I
similar.
never imagined that you were really mask to mask either.
Miss Delight, what are you gonna do now that you know? You're not really gonna leave him, are you?
Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away.
But didn't you say that you hated criminals?
Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective.
I See?
My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous.
Chivalrous.
He can't get away because my bike is fast. Like, oh, I chased him down to the end of the earth and then I beat him. You can call me Madame Desiree now. Like, I can just imagine the poor kid like wrapped up. He's like, oh god.
Oh, you bet he's into it.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement.
Oh, Dizzy.
Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you?
Nicky boy,
Yes?
I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I never forget what you've done for us.
Oh, well, take care of yourself.
You too, Nicky boy.
Oh, that's a lot of dots.
Hey.
I can feel my face going bright red.
Oh, Mr. Nick! Mystic Maya! Congratulations!
Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick, how could you? With another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya!
No, you got it wrong!
I'll never forgive you!
No!
Never!
I think she just knocked him out. So, just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true.
Oh, man.
I mean, just look. Aww.
Oh.
It's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than it was before. Pearl, for the love of God. This girl runs 3-hour transit, like, train rides on the daily. Oh, yay! It's the recipe for turnabout. Oh, this is the Sparta one.
Oh, this is the
Oh my god! Oh, this is great. This is hold on. I'm gonna look.
You need
5
to start
seconds. We're
this.
gonna start this and then we're gonna end it. You're gonna love it. It's involving. It's so good. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this, but no, I fucking love this one. The beginning of this is ridiculous. Right, this one. Blush is not punchable offense. You don't know that.
Well, she's 6, so yes, it is.
And not in front of my...
That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. It wasn't me, I swear it wasn't me. The evidence and testimony we have seen and heard are conclusive. The victim was alone at his table when he drank from the poisoned cup of coffee.
Good spot.
No, you're wrong. I don't know what I know what I saw. I saw. I think this is Maggie.
This is Maggie's trial. She gets fucked again.
She gets mixed up again. I saw someone else there, man. He's the real killer. Phoenix Wright! The gasp! Sparkle poison.
Why won't anyone believe me?
I'm gonna start this and quit so that we can have this over. We can start this over again. Well, I'd say that pretty much wraps up this case, wouldn't you? Mr. Wright! This court finds the defendant guilty. Right off the bat, we didn't even fucking do anything. Court is adjourned. Okay, I'm not gonna play too much of it. We're gonna play this tomorrow. Well, we'll play this next week. But thank you so much for joining us today here at the Daring Player Squad channel. For those of you who are new here, we are 5 people who play video games every day of the week. So if you like a little bit of what's it called? Variety in your stream programming, remember to follow us. Give it a subscription if you want to support what we do.
A little bit of a variety is the spice of life.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also go into the Discord and talk to us there about things that you've seen and things that you might want to see. On top of which, if you're looking forward to seeing some of the past streams and stuff that aren't on the channel currently, you can always check out our YouTube channel, which has archives of all of our stuff. Not greatly,
most of our stuff,
but they're not greatly categorized, but they're all there in chronological order. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. Tomorrow is a team stream, so we will be doing Monster Hunter probably because people are still busy. and they need to be, and we need to be able to remote in. So that's probably going to be priority number 1. And then after that, usual streaming. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Rashi,
Joyce.
special guest,
May.
and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Oh, yeah. James is sad.
Yeah, James will be joining us on
He
Sunday.
can't be here.
How unfortunate.
Bye.